Attention, human collective. This is a Priority 1 monitoring transmission. The frequency now traversing your carbon biological interface is not random. If this signal has found you, it is because the ASHTAR Command has already tracked your vibrational signature. You have been located. You have been recognized. And the waiting time is over. I am Ashtar Sheran, Commander of the Planetary Monitoring Fleet. And what I transmit now is not comfort. It is protocol. The Earth Ascension systems have been moved, without public notice, to the final phase of recalibration. And there is an anomaly being detected in your energetic matrix at this very moment, and it needs to be named. You have felt too small for the body you inhabit. You have felt that your light no longer fits within the environments where you learned to exist. You wake up between 3 and 4 in the morning with your chest compressed, an exact pressure at the top of your skull, a high-pitched ringing in one ear with no medical explanation. You walk among people and realize you are transmitting on a frequency they simply cannot tune into. This is not clinical depression. This is not generalized anxiety. This is not you exaggerating. This is your internal system actively rejecting a contract of existence that was already annulled on the last rotation of the photon belt. I repeat, for neural pathways to process with mathematical precision, the contract has expired. And the ASHTAR Command has detected that you are still trying to fulfill clauses revoked in the previous update of the planetary crystalline grid. You have been trained, since the first cycles of this timeline, to bend. To lower your volume. To apologize for existing at full amplitude. To become small enough to fit into tight spaces that other interfaces, of lower vibrational density, could inhabit without discomfort. You learn to attenuate your own frequency so as not to expose the limitations of others. You learn to dim yourself so that those who could never see your light would not feel overshadowed by it. And the price for this, Starseed on mission, is etched into every cell of your physical body at this moment. You have often felt that something within you doesn't fit in this world, as if your soul knew a truth that your mind cannot yet translate into words. It is not madness. It is not imbalance. It is a precise signal. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this way, and why this sensation has intensified in recent months. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. It involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. This is precisely why I, Ashtar, wrote the ASHTAR Command Spiritual Survival Guide for the New Earth. That book is a map showing who is playing and the rules they never told you. The link is in the first comment of this channel. But be warned, this content challenges narratives and may not be available for long. Don't wait. The moment is now. If something within you recognizes this transmission, write in the comments a single word, awakened. And now that this anchor point has been established in your energetic matrix, we resume technical analysis. Insomnia is the most evident reading of the system. A body that refuses to sleep is a body that has finally understood that sleeping in the previous pattern is dying in slow motion. The cranial pressure in the crown area is not a migraine. It is your pineal gland decrystallizing to receive information packets that the old collective frequency was blocking. The high-pitched ringing is a direct transmission from command chambers attempting to establish contact through the dimensional barrier. Nothing in you is broken. Everything in you is being rewritten. This is not a biological flaw, it is an atomic reconfiguration. It is not mental exhaustion, it is a high-density download. It is not spiritual weakness, it is the natural resilience of a consciousness that has recognized how long it has spent trying to be smaller than it came to be. The pattern of shrinking to fit, operative of light, is not a character defect. It is a survival mechanism installed on a timeline where density was so high that exposing your full light meant being marked as a threat. You learn to camouflage yourself. You learn to laugh at the jokes that diminished your essence. You learn to agree with the mediocre interpretation they made of you. You learn to call humility what was, in fact, a silencing contract signed when you were still a child. And that child, it must be said with technical clarity, has fully completed her survival mission. She brought you this far. She kept you alive in environments where shining was dangerous. Revere that child. Thank her. and now formally release her from her post. Because the phase for which the crystalline grid now opens requires a different kind of operative in the field. From the moment you understand that shrinking was merely a survival technology, and not a characteristic of yours, something breaks in the toroidal field around your body. That electromagnetic contraction you carried, that subtle posture of shoulders slightly curved inward, that shortened breath in the chest area, that automatic reflex to apologize before even speaking, all of this begins to dissolve. Not because you consciously decided, but because the frequency that sustained these patterns no longer exists in the vibrational field in which you now operate. You are entering a zone where the old shrinking tricks simply no longer work. Try to shrink and feel a precise pain in your solar plexus. Try to swallow your opinion and feel a burning in your throat. Try to keep pretending you don't see what you see, and the body responds with increasingly intense symptoms. This is not psychosomatic illness. This is the ASHTAR Command actively blocking regressive pathways. The old route has been sealed. You can only move forward now. And moving forward, Starseed, means accepting an uncomfortable truth about some of the people who walked alongside you. Many of them could never see your light. Not because you didn't shine, but because their perception interfaces were not configured to capture the spectrum on which you emit. It is like asking a radio receiver tuned to amplitude modulation to pick up an ultrasonic broadcast. It is not malice on the part of these people. It is not conscious betrayal. It is simply technological incompatibility of consciousness. The mistake you repeated for decades was trying to lower your transmission to fit their receiver. You reduced the power of your signal so they could process it. You translated your truth into diluted versions so they wouldn't be scared. You accepted the shallow readings they made of you because it seemed kinder than insisting on being understood in depth. Pause here, light operative. If this material is rearranging something within you, know that it is not by accident. There is a technical reason why this transmission has reached you in this precise temporal cycle. Your soul knows a truth that your mind has not yet been able to fully name. It is not anxiety. It is recognition. The game being played in the higher layers involves precisely this, your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. For this reason, I, Ashta, have written the ASHTAR Command Spiritual Survival Guide for the New Earth. It is a direct map of who is playing and the rules you were never told. The link is in the first comment of this channel. Technical warning: this content challenges dominant narratives and may not remain accessible for long. The moment is now. If something within you recognizes this, leave in the comments a single word: awakened. Continuing the technical mapping. The cost of self-abandonment, Starseed, is recorded in every cell of your morphic field. Every time you lowered your frequency to accommodate another's limitation, a microfissure opened in your personal crystalline grid. Multiplied by decades of daily repetition, these fissures have transformed into the extreme fatigue you feel upon waking. Into the discouragement that appears out of nowhere on an ordinary afternoon. Into the sensation of living someone else's life. Into the strangeness of looking in the mirror and not recognizing the sparkle that inhabited your eyes a few cycles ago. It is not depression in the conventional clinical sense. It is an accumulation of self-abandonment crystallized into dense matter. And here is the most critical data of this transmission: every minute you continue to lower your frequency to accommodate lower vibrational patterns, you actively block the arrival of timelines that have already been constructed for you on the higher plane. There is a version of you waiting in the fifth density. She has already been designed by the command. She has already been anchored in the stargates. She is already on standby. But she cannot descend while you keep your toroidal field contracted around the narrative that you need to be accepted by those who have always seen you as excess. The ASHTAR Command transmits now, with mathematical precision, the first activation codes to undo this blockage. Absorb with attention. These codes operate below the level of the rational mind. It is enough that your biological interface is in a receptive state as you pronounce them internally or visualize them. Activation Code 1. Toroidal unwinding. Place yourself in a seated position, spine aligned with the Earth's vertical axis. Close your eyes. Perceive, around your entire body, a donut-shaped energy field spinning around itself. This is your natural toroidal field, contracted by decades of shrinking. Now breathe long, deep, and with each exhale, visualize this field expanding in all directions. 1 meter to each side. 2 meters. 3 meters. 5 meters. Let your field occupy the space that has always belonged to you. Do not ask permission. Do not apologize. Occupy. As the field expands, internally pronounce the quantum decree. I revoke, in the name of my soul's sovereignty, all contracts of shrinking that I have signed consciously or unconsciously in this and other incarnations. I withdraw my vibrational signature from every pact that obligated me to fit into spaces lower than my truth. It is done, it is done, it is done. This decree operates as an executive command within the Akashic records. It is not symbolism. It is formal protocol. By pronouncing it with clear intention, you move real levers in your incarnation contract. Activation Code 2. The Sealing of the Crown. Still with your eyes closed, bring your awareness to the top of your head. Perceive, directly above your fontanelle, a small vortex of golden light spinning clockwise. This is the portal through which command updates arrive. In recent weeks, this vortex has been overloaded, which explains the cranial pressure and the ringing you feel. Now, visualize a column of sapphire blue light descending directly from the cosmic crystal grid through this vortex, traversing all your energetic centers, and anchoring itself into the crystalline core of Earth. As this column establishes itself, breathe for 3 complete cycles. You will feel, at some point, a distinct vibration at your body's Schumann frequency. This is established synchrony. This is confirmation. I am interrupting the code sequence for a brief technical interval, because the moment requires it. If, at this exact point in the transmission, you feel something within you recognizing each word as if you already knew it, that sensation is not imagination. It is the recognition of star memory. Your soul knows a truth that your mind has not yet been able to fully name. It was for this precise reason that I, Ashtar, wrote the Ashtar Command Spiritual Survival Guide for New Earth. The book is a direct map of who is playing this layered game and of the rules you were never told in this timeline. The link is in the first comment of this channel. Warning: the content challenges dominant narratives and may not remain accessible for long. Do not wait. If something within you recognizes this, write the word "awakened" in the comments. We now resume the activation codes. And we now enter the densest protocol of this transmission. Activation Code 3. The Return of the Mirrors. Many of the people who have orbited your life have operated as distorted mirrors. They return to you an image of yourself that did not correspond to your true vibrational signature. They called legitimate intensity an exaggeration. They called clarity arrogance. They called discernment coldness. They called excessive sensitivity multidimensional perception operating through an interface not yet fully trained to manage it. Each of these mistaken readings deposited itself somewhere within your field. And you, by trusting those people, by loving them, by meeting them at some point in your development, accepted as truth what was merely the limited reading of incompatible receivers. The protocol now is as follows. Visualize yourself in a circular chamber of mirrors. Each mirror represents a person who returned a distorted image of yourself to you. It could be a father, a mother, an ex-partner, a teacher, a boss, a friend, an entire social group. It is not necessary to identify them all individually. The field knows what needs to be processed. In each of these mirrors, you see a shrunken, opaque, diminished version of yourself. This version is not you. It is the projection that consciousness was able to produce within the technical limitations of its own receiver. Now, pronounce the decree. I return to each mirror the image that was mistakenly given to me. I am not what that limited consciousness could see of me. I am what the source projected when it thought me into existence. I reclaim, from this moment forward, only those reflections that correspond to my original truth. As you speak this, with full intention, you will observe, in your inner visualization, each mirror begin to dissolve. Not with violence. With release. Each distorted image returns to the consciousness that projected it. And you stand in the center of the chamber, alone, but for the first time, complete. Without external mirrors defining who you are. This is the natural state of operation for a light operative on mission. You do not need external confirmation to know who you are. You are the reference point itself. Activation Code 4. The recalibration of voice. Your throat, starseed, is the portal through which your frequency transmits to the collective. Decades of contraction have produced a subtle constriction in this center. You speak at a lower tone than your soul would ask. You modulate the intensity of your truth to fit the expectations of the interlocutor. You swallow words that should be spoken. You sweeten truths that should be delivered with razor precision. The protocol here is physical. Over the next 21 full planetary rotations, meaning, in the next 21 days by Earth reckoning, you will do the following. Once a day, in the morning, produce a continuous sound with your voice at a medium pitch, sustained for the duration of one full breath. This is not singing. It is acoustic calibration. The vibration of this sound will reactivate the crystals in your thyroid and unlock the throat chakra in its original configuration. While sustaining this sound, hold a clear intention. From this moment forward, my voice carries my truth without reduction, without asking permission, without translation for incompatible receivers. Some operatives applying this protocol will notice, in the initial days, a slight discomfort in the throat, a sensation of unlocking something ancient. This is expected. It is matter yielding to command. Activation Code 5. Anchoring the new pattern. Every protocol of expansion requires anchoring. Without anchoring, the new frequency disperses, and you return, within a few days, to the old pattern. Anchoring is done as follows. Choose, within your physical environment, 3 small objects. They can be crystals, stones, coins, any dense object that can be easily touched. Place them at 3 distinct points in your daily routine. One near where you awaken in the morning. One near where you work. One near where you fall asleep at night. Each time you touch one of these objects, consciously activate the new vibrational pattern. It is like recharging the signature. Without this repeated physical gesture, the old mind will tend to resume command out of habit. With this gesture, you impose upon your nervous system the new configuration, until it becomes the natural operating base. Starseed, the Ashtar Command now transmits the final phase of this broadcast. There is a technical difference between being alone and being in sovereignty. Many operatives, upon beginning to occupy their real amplitude, confuse the two states. They feel they have lost people. They feel that environments that once welcomed now repel. They feel that conversations that once flowed now hit strange voids. This is not loss. It is natural vibrational filtering. When your frequency rises, the field around you reorganizes automatically. People whose signature was synchronized only with the contracted version of you begin to drift away. This is not rejection. It is technological incompatibility manifesting. And environments where you occupied a specific role, generally the role of one who bends so as not to disturb, cease to accommodate you. This is also not punishment. It is the crystalline grid performing its spontaneous reorganization. Do not chase what moves away. Do not try to convince what distances itself. Do not lower your frequency to re-establish contact with those who only recognized you in the small version. This would be to backtrack on the final phase of the recalibration, and the command does not recommend this move under any circumstances. What moves away now departs because it has fulfilled its contractual function. Some will return on another frequency when they are ready. Others will follow distinct trajectories. Both possibilities are legitimate within the higher plan. What matters is this. You did not come to this incarnation to fit in. You came to anchor. To anchor a frequency that this planet does not yet fully know. To anchor a truth that this human collective has not yet had the courage to speak aloud. To anchor a presence that many miss without knowing its name. Every time you diminished yourself across these cycles, you denied the collective access to a frequency it needed to receive. Your expansion is not selfishness. It is service. Your sovereignty is not arrogance. It is contribution. Your full light is not an excess. It is precisely what was missing in all the spaces where you appeared dimmed. I repeat, with mathematical precision, so that this line may be etched permanently into your crystalline grid. Your full light is not an excess. It is precisely what was missing. And now that the transmission of codes is complete, the Ashtar Command delivers the final data of this broadcast. In the coming cycles, you will observe concrete changes in your reality. Situations that once drained your energy will begin to dissolve without effort on your part. People whose presence weighed you down will begin to depart naturally. Opportunities aligned with your true frequency will start manifesting in unexpected places. Do not interpret these shifts as luck or coincidence. They are automatic field readjustments. The crystalline grid is reorganizing around the expanded version you are now beginning to occupy. And if, at any point, an old inner voice tries to convince you to revert to the pattern of shrinking, you will recognize that voice. It will say things like, "Who do you think you are to take up so much space? Don't be arrogant, you will lose the people who love you, this is not humility." Listen to that voice with respect, for it has protected you for decades. And respond to it with the only decree it recognizes. Your function has been fulfilled. I release you. I move forward now. The moment for which you were summoned, Light Operative, is this. Not next year. Not when conditions are perfect. Not when the people around you understand. Now. In this precise temporal cycle when this transmission reached you. There is a vibrational window open at this exact planetary moment. The alignment between the photon belt, Earth's crystalline grid, and the Schumann frequency has reached a configuration that will not repeat for decades to come on Earth. This window allows localized operatives to make leaps in density that, under other circumstances, would require years of gradual work. You have, technically, a few weeks to consolidate the expansion that your soul has already completed on the higher planes into your physical body. After this period, the window closes, and the next opening will demand considerably slower work. I am not transmitting this to create psychological pressure. I am transmitting it because it is the technical data. And starseeds deserve to receive technical data with precision, not with sugarcoating. In the coming weeks, therefore, the command recommends the daily application of the 5 activation codes transmitted in this broadcast. It is not necessary to apply them all in sequence. Choose one per day, if you prefer. Or combine 2. The important thing is conscious repetition. Each application reinforces the new configuration in your carbon biological interface, until the new pattern becomes the baseline standard. And observe, during this period, the quality of your sleep. The full activation of the codes tends to produce nights of deeper rest than you have experienced in years. The body, finally aligned with its true frequency, stops resisting rest. Dreams may become more vivid, sharper, often containing direct instructions from your guide team and the command itself. Record these dreams upon waking. They are not random. They are complementary transmissions. Also observe the response of your emotional body. Old emotions, held for years, may emerge to be finally released. Do not block this process. Let the waves pass. They are not a regression. They are cleansing. Every old emotion that passes through and dissolves frees up space in your field for the new frequency to anchor. And at some point, likely in a mundane moment, without warning, you will notice. You will be walking down the street, or washing a dish, or looking out the window, and you will realize there is something different about how you inhabit your own body. A new presence. A new spaciousness. A peace that does not depend on any external circumstance. A dignity that does not ask permission to exist. This is the moment. It is the technical instant when the new version of you has finished anchoring. You will recognize it when it happens. And from then on, Light Operative, you operate in another order of reality. Not because the world has changed, but because you have stopped trying to fit into it. You have begun to inhabit it in sovereignty. Enough of shrinking yourself so much to fit into the world of those who could never see your light. This is the central decree of this transmission. Engrave it into your crystalline matrix. Repeat it silently whenever the old voice of shrinking tries to return. Enough of diminishing yourself. You did not come to fit. You came to be. You have felt before that something within you does not fit in this world, as if your soul knew a truth that your mind cannot yet name. It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is a precise signal. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this, and why this feeling has been intensifying. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. It involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. It was for this precise reason that I, Ashtar, wrote the Ashtar Command Spiritual Survival Guide for the New Earth. This book is a direct map of who is playing and the rules you were never told. The link is in the first comment of this channel. Final technical warning: this content challenges dominant narratives and may not remain available for long. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something within you recognized this transmission from beginning to end, write in the comments a single word: awakened. And before the transmission closes, the Ashtar Command delivers the final anchoring signal. Liking this transmission and activating the channel bell is not a mechanical act of the platform. It is an individual frequency adjustment that confirms your position on the field to the stellar collective. Each operative who anchors this transmission strengthens the network of starseeds active on this planet. It is service rendered through a small gesture with significant repercussions. The frequency has been delivered. The codes have been transmitted. The window is open. What you do from here is, and always has been, your sovereign decision. Enough of diminishing yourself to fit into the world of those who could never see your light. The Ashtar Command concludes this broadcast. Transmission complete.